Hey guys, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition for the third and apparently final DLC. We're actually back here sooner than I expected to be. I actually uninstalled the game because I thought that it took so long for the last DLC to come out. I thought, oh, it'll be a while, and I need some hard drive space. So I'm a day late because it took so long to re-download everything on short notice. I guess last time we leveled up. Let's take a quick look and figure out what I want to spend that on. Turns out I've pretty much bought everything at this point, aside from a few merchant ones, so let's go for this one called the Short List. Merchants eager to win favor from the Inquisition will gain access to special offers for rare inventory. Why not? At this point, I guess leveling up the Inquisition doesn't really give me worthwhile things anymore. So, we're supposed to have access to this somewhere on the table here. This is a DLC that's supposed to explore what it's like to be a member of a world-saving organization like the Inquisition, when the world no longer needs to be saved. That thing looks blue, is that it? Disaster in the Deep Roads. A Cry in the Dark, that's probably it, huh? Don't see anything else around here, unless it's this thing. Attend the Exalted Council. What is A Cry in the Dark? Is this just Deep Roads related? It must be from the last DLC. Inquisition scouts supporting the Legion of the Dead forces at the ruins of Hydron Tig report no contact with or sightings of Shaper Volta. However, a strange cry recently emanated from the Titan caverns, loud enough to be heard at the mining lift's campsite above. The cry's source remains unclear, but the voice was described as not belonging to either beast or darkspawn. Shaper Volta may be attempting to re-establish contact with her people, and may require assistance. Josephine says the situation may be best handled by Orzammar itself. Let us ask the king to send forces to Legion of the Dead to help search for Shaper Volta. Good to notify someone, but we probably want to actually help for a good favor. Liliana, given inherent dangers of getting in and out of that location, a small reconnaissance team is best suited for searching for Shaper Volta without attracting unwanted attention. Cullen. Seems like a fool's errand, but perhaps a joint team from the Inquisition and Legions of the Dead can determine the source of the cry with minimal risk. Yeah, cooperation.
All right.
I think cooperation is generally the best approach here. A search of the Titan caverns all the way to Shaper Volta's last known location turned up nothing but a few small groups of Shah Bertel who were quickly dispatched. Volta seems to have disappeared deeper inside the Titan, but she was not the only one who has vanished. The grave site of Lieutenant Wren was recently disturbed and his remains are missing. It is not known who took his body or why. There have been no more cries from the Titan caverns. Inquisition scouts reported one final discovery. The tunnel to the wellspring no longer exists. Attempts to delve into the blank rock face result only in broken tools and little trace of the stone on the stone itself. Somewhat nervously, but emphatically, the engineers recommend leaving it be. That's dark. So after everything we went through, Shaper Volta seems to have gone lost. Would not be surprised if she's just going to come up again later in some sort of sequel. I was going to say future DLC, but this is supposed to be the last DLC for this game, which is somewhat disappointing, but oh well. So attend the Exalted Council. Warning. Beginning the Exalted Council will lock off all other areas and plots and jump to 944 Dragon. 2 years after the death of Corypheus. There is no going back from this point. Because what's going on here is this is the true epilogue. We're going to hopefully be dealing with Solus and the Alluvium Mirrors. Is that the right name for that? And figuring out the future of the Inquisition and getting a proper epilogue for this entire story. With Corypheus dead and the threat of Fade rifts and demons waning, both Orlais and Ferelden have begun to raise questions about the future of the Inquisition. Divine Victoria has promised to shield the Inquisition from political matters for as long as possible. Eventually, she plans to call the Exalted Council, a chance to determine the role and possibly the fate of the Inquisition. Recommended level 20 or higher. I think I'm like 27 or something, so I think we'll be fine. Connections. Divine Victoria will not call the Exalted Council until you are ready, Inquisitor. Here we go, guys. It's the beginning of the end. Attend the Exalted Council. The Exalted Council will be held at the Winter Palace outside of Halam-Sharal. Thanks to Divine Victoria's negotiation with the ambassadors. We are ready to depart at your convenience.
bloody negotiation.
Smiles, everyone. We must be careful how we present ourselves.
Why did Divine Victoria call the Exalted Council? She's kept Orlais from bothering us for the last 2 years.
At increasing political cost, yes. She has done all she can, but the Exalted Council has become necessary. Orlais would control us, and based on their many marriage proposals, they have specific plans for you. Our real concern is Ferelden. They would see us disbanded entirely.
Inquisitor, it has been too long. I hope the years have been kind to you.
How have you been, Mother Giselle?
I spent last summer in Emprise de Lyon, distributing food sent from the Exalted Plains. The Dales are finally recovering.
Since Corypheus fell, I think you may have spent more time traveling than I have.
It keeps me out of trouble, Your Worship. I should mention that your forces at Suladin Keep were of great help. Please give my compliments to Baron Deschedin. Divine Victoria asked me to greet you on her behalf. She is currently attending to the Ferelden ambassador's concerns.
You can probably just call her Liliana in private conversation.
You can, Inquisitor. I prefer to use her divine name. Our last divine once joked about why I insisted upon calling her Justinia. She called it my way of reassuring her that I had not completely forgotten who was in charge.
How do you think Divine Victoria has done these last 2 years?
It is hardly for me to say, Inquisitor.
With respect, that's never stopped you before, Mother Giselle.
Victoria is proving to be a woman that few dare to disagree with. She has already won concessions for the Inquisition. You are fortunate to have her support.
I'll speak to Divine Victoria.
I believe she would appreciate that, Your Worship. The Divine sees the good that you can do and have done. Duke Cyril will wish to greet you on behalf of Orlais. I believe he is currently speaking with the Tevinter ambassador. Many of your friends have returned as well. I hope you have a chance to speak with them before the Exalted Council begins.
The Imperium sent an ambassador?
Yes, Your Worship. Dorian Pavas has taken the chance to return from Tevinter. It will be good to see him again. I owe him my apology. I allowed my distrust of Tevinter to cloud my judgment. He took a great risk coming to help us and deserved better treatment.
You're going to apologize? To Dorian?
I have little patience for those who cannot admit they were wrong, Your Worship, myself included. I will have to make my apology somewhere public. He will want an audience for his reaction.
Well, at least Dorian's back. That's a good start.
Who has returned for the Exalted Council?
Your dwarven friend, Master Tetras, for one. I understand he spent much of the last few years in Kirkwall. I believe Sir Blackwall has returned as well, although he now uses the name Tom Ranier. Enjoy time with them while you can, Your Worship. I doubt you will have the chance once the Exalted Council is underway.
Thank you, Mother Giselle.
Your Worship, a final question, if I may. This Exalted Council, Ferelden would have the Inquisition disband. Orlais sees its power as another feather in a chevalier's helmet. What do you wish to do with the Inquisition?
The Inquisition still has work to do. We can't let someone's fear push us into disbanding.
Then I wish you luck in the negotiations to come. Make a watch over you, Inquisitor. I will not keep you any longer.
We've done so much good, even in the time after Corypheus was defeated. That's when both DLCs happened in my timeline anyway. Sounds like we might be restricted to one specific set of mage, rogue, and warrior. Blackwall, Varric, and Dorian. Could be a bit of a bummer from a customization perspective, but I'm hoping that means that they're going to be better written, because most of the companions have had very minimal input on the other DLCs so far. So maybe they'll be really vocal nowadays. Optional objective is to catch up with old friends. Of course I'm going to do that first. How do I find them? Ferelden, Orlasian, Cullen, Vivian. Oh, Vivian's here. Varric. Oh, they're all here. Never mind. Iron Bull, Cole. Well, of course I'm going to catch up with old friends. What else would I do right now? Varric. You're right in front of me. Varric, buddy. I missed you. It's been 2 years, or from my perspective, about a month and a half or something.
The Prince of Starkhaven wrote to you again.
Of course he did. Just put that one in the pile with letters from the Merchants Guild.
And the captain of the city guard had a very colorful message for me to deliver to you as well.
Inquisitor! Andraste's ass, am I ever glad to see you.
Are you in some kind of trouble? What's happened this time?
So suspicious. I'll have you know I've never been convicted of anything. Officially. This is Bran Caven. Until recently he was the Viscount...
Provisional Viscount.
Of Kirkwall.
Are you here to represent Kirkwall in the Exalted Council, Viscount Bran?
Provisional Viscount, which sadly is no longer my office. I have resumed my post as Seneschal now that Master Tethras has been elected Viscount.
You're the Viscount of Kirkwall now?
Well, it seems the two of you have a great deal to discuss. Why don't I just leave you to it?
So, it turns out you fund enough reconstruction efforts in a city-state, the nobles give you the worst job they can think of.
I might need to sit down. You're the ruler of Kirkwall now. All of it.
That's not that big a deal. I have a really pointy crown that I wouldn't be caught dead wearing, but that's it. They voted me in because I got the harbor and businesses up and running again. They want shit fixed, and I can do that. Anyway, I was hoping I'd catch you before the summit got underway. I got you a sort of present. It's official recognition of your title and holdings in Kirkwall. Congratulations. You're a comp now.
You can't actually do that without...
Too late. Already did it. Also, your mercenary company, the Valokas. They work for Kirkwall now. I just know my guard captain will love the Shokrakar.
Guard Captain Aveline has been to my office 11 times in the last week to complain.
You were leaving us to talk, remember?
Every time this game mentions Aveline, it just makes me miss the fact that she doesn't get a single spoken line or appearance in this game. Makes me really want to go back to Dragon Age 2. I miss a few of those characters.
What are you up to? I feel like I should be suspicious.
Look, it's really not that big a deal. Oh, that reminds me. It's the key to the city.
You can't give that away without approval from the council and a special ceremony.
It's just symbolic anyway.
It controls one of the giant chain nets in the harbor.
Really? That is so much better than I thought.
Thank you. I'm touched. A little bit horrified by this key now, but still touched.
Please don't give anything else away.
I don't know how this council thing is going to end for the Inquisition. But whatever gets decided, you've got a place lined up in Kirkwall if you want it. Also, control of the harbor, I guess. Anyway, you should meet with the diplomats. And we'll get in a game of Wicked Grace before I go back, though, right?
I wouldn't miss it.
Don't bet any public buildings this time.
Good old Varric accidentally giving away important objects, potentially, and Nothing about being basically a king is gonna make him button up a shirt. Oh, my bad. Excuse me, giant canary coming through. Don't bother stepping aside. Is someone upstairs? I think they are. Wow, it's weird coming back here of all places. Last time I was here, a Orlesian official tried to murder me. So that was cool. Oh, right. I forgot I have to chime in this area. What's this? Expensive dog treats. The first Grand Enchanter. Grand Enchanter Lothrain Hardun was the first leader of the Circle of Magi when it was founded in 120 Divine. After Hardun distinguished himself in battle during the Second Blight, Emperor Drakon himself endorsed him for the position. From all accounts, the Grand Enchanter performed admirably, but some speculate Hardun was a second choice, that Drakon had another mage with connections to Inquisitor Emeridin in mind for the job. Tellingly, these debates are based on a half-finished letter to an army captain and the guest list of a party where Emeridin and the Emperor were in attendance. If any proof ever existed, it's likely dust. The idea's merits should be treated as such, for scholarship's sake. From a short primer of Orlay's most excellent and inspiring history, by Lord Renorus, published in 935 Dragon. Well, that's a hell of a painting. Who's that? That's not Liliana, is it? That's someone else? Nah, Liliana shouldn't have that harsh of features at this age yet. Talk about a character that went from being a crowd... Oh, they couldn't have planned on her getting to this point from Dragon Age 1, right? I bet that it's just that she was a fan favorite, and fan favorites often get escalated by the writers of a show over time. Like certain things that happen in Doctor Who, basically. Who's up here? Oh, Josephine.
It's so good to see you, darling. I've been fielding Orlesian diplomats all afternoon.
Have they given you trouble?
Not at all. It is quite alarming. It means they are all saving themselves up for later. Would you walk with me? I should like to take some air before the Exalted Council becomes inescapable. The palace has been most accommodating. We are, after all, here at their insistence, but the ministers may... No more talk of the council. This meeting was to spend time with you in a more relaxed fashion.
Is this in your daily notes? 3 to 4 o'clock, idle chat with the Inquisitor.
Of course not. Not precisely. The truth is, there is a small entertainment happening tonight, to which I may be able to find a pair of invitations.
You'd like me to go with you?
Very much so. In all the years you worked with Orlais, you had so little time to enjoy its culture.
I do wish you'd warned me the game would take more work after Halam Shiral.
It's strange. Those were somehow simpler times. Sometimes, I'm afraid I do not make enough time for you, my love. Please, come with me tonight.
And what is this small entertainment?
Something to ease our minds. I would very much like to surprise you with the details.
If it makes you happy, how can I refuse?
Oh, wonderful. I was worried we wouldn't find the time. The past years have been so busy. We have earned at least a few moments of rest.
A calm night out sounds...
Oh, bravo! Bravo!
I've been in battles that were quieter than this.
Oh, yes. What a stupendous voice Lady Brask has. Her D-sharp once shattered an entire conservatory. But tell me, did you enjoy the performance?
The performance pales in comparison to the lovely lady I saw it with.
You are sidestepping the question.
Love leaves my tongue tied.
Well, in that case, I suppose allowances can be made.
I suppose it's not that much more cringe than it usually is. Oh, BioWare, you try, I guess. So I assume that was like a flash forward and that it hasn't happened yet at this point? I think we just made plans for that to happen later. Otherwise it'd be really jarring. I don't think that fits with the timetable of what's going on. Interesting storytelling mechanic there. I can't think of another time BioWare straight up had a flash forward, like sort of time travel, like glimpse of the future dialogue, but then came back. That could take place after everything else that happens in this DLC for all I know.
I do hope you recovered from your night at the opera. Any ear-ringing should go away in a day or two.
Wait, that happened? That didn't happen as a flash forward? Weird. So like we're here a day later now, and everyone's just hanging out. There's lots of these documents. Josephine and the last few years. My dear Vasti, Commander Cullen has reviewed the soldiers. I have written and received so many letters from the Elysian Court, our birds practically blot out the sun. We are as prepared for this Exalted Council as we will ever be. I know this past year has been full of formal meetings. Goodness knows I have attended many myself, but this one will truly test the alliances and friendships we worked so hard to build. Take courage, darling, and please visit me before we begin the Exalted Council. It would make me so happy to see you. Love, Josephine. You forget to send that to me, Josephine? I guess you're busy. It's okay. It happens. So, is this going to be like the citadel of this game? For the Mass Effect 3 DLC that was the last one that came out? Like a chance to reunite everybody, but also bring up a whole lot of the things that we did throughout the course of this very long game. Cole in the last few years. Inquisitor. I send this to you uncertain whether this comprises a joke, a test, or some form of magic. If it is the latter, I wish to state that I am deeply uncomfortable, but based on the results, I can hardly complain. Our work has never been more successful. I have no recollection of ever having written the following, but it is clearly my hand, which signifies with signifiers in the language that make it clear I acted on my own volition when writing it. I assume that you will make more of it than I can. Sounds like this person was convinced to write a message by some of Cole's tactics. Yours, Charter. Send to Inquisitor in response, Cole. Quarterly progress. Rescues 6, higher than expected. Target hit 4. 1 dead when wanted for interrogation, no prisoners. Agent morale strong. Some crying? All insisted they were good tears. Strong emotions but unrelated to mission at hand, usually tied to some past trauma. Oddities, misplaced items, unexpected, often tied to emotional revelation among group. Concern with hostile blood mage, binding demons, v angry. Wax on my fingers, bees drone behind me as the honeycomb crunches between my teeth. She was always proud of me. Why did I write this? That's Cole. Still messing with people's emotions and trying to make the world a better place, but in his full demon way again. Which I kind of feel is right. A lot of people argue that was the most controversial decision I made in the entire playthrough. Probably is people arguing about how to or how not to deal with Cole. But ultimately, it feels weird to impose human morals on something that isn't human. Leliana in the last few years, Inquisitor. Thank you so much for your kind inquiries. I am doing very well, although I have been quite busy. Selecting new staff for my apartments at the Grand Cathedral has taken me so much longer than expected, and if you wouldn't mind, I would like to borrow Scout Harding for a few weeks to help me find more nugs. I cannot possibly hire anyone to a permanent position without first observing them in a full room of baby nugs, and all the litters I have on hand are nearly full grown, and in any case, I will see you soon at Halam Chirol. Until then, Liliana. What a document. Anything stashed around here? That almost looks like there is. What's that? Crumpled silk napkin. Why am I taking that? Ew. What's wrong with me? Taking napkins, taking dog treats. Dog treats almost seem like they'd come up at some point, though. What dog could we encounter? Did we recruit one at some point and I'm forgetting? I wouldn't put it past myself completely. Who else can we meet around here? Geronimo! Well, oh. I'm standing on this bush now. The Inquisitor! What? Now I just want to explore. There could be all sorts of weird notes and documents stashed through. Oh, there's one. Oh, something else. Is that another dog treat? How many of these dog treats are going to come up later? Hard in Hightown, Chapter 14. Great. By Varric Tetris. The late Magistrate Dunwald's butler blinked as Dun and Brenikovic barged into the foyer. By Lady Marielle. Get Lady Marielle, now. He headed straight to the parlor where the magistrate's collection was displayed. Wrapped in a black shawl, Marielle sauntered into the room and leaned against one of the glass cases. Guardsman. What a pleasant surprise. Where's Jevlin? Her smile faltered. Why do you think I would know? He's your partner. Donnan held up the note. Your perfume, Lady Marielle. He dropped it on the display case beside her. What were you doing in the guard barracks? I didn't leave the note, she said with measured calm, and I don't have your partner. But you were in the barracks. He stepped away to examine the display. You told me Wagner wanted to buy the magistrate's entire collection, but he said he was only interested in one blade. He opened the case, and I think it was never in Seamus's collection. I think it was the sword meant to go right here. He pointed to the empty velvet linen box. I looked in the Viscount's records, and you've only been married to Magistrate Dunwald for about 3 weeks. You tell me who you're working for and where my partner is, and I'll see if we can't cut you a deal with the Viscount's office. The Chantry. Marielle closed the door quietly. They sent me to Kirkwall a few months ago, when rumors of the sword began to surface. She examined the note. I don't have Jevlin. This was already on his bunk when I went to find both of you. Donnan didn't hide his skepticism. You're innocent, but you didn't report him missing to any guards. Someone took him from the barracks. Sarah. With no one the wiser. That doesn't seem strange to you? She looked at him in the eye. Have you ever heard of the executors? They're a myth. A myth that kills, she sighed. The executors have your partner, and I think they have someone inside the city guard. How else could they have gotten Jevlin out of the keep without being seen? Donnan watched her fidget with the shawl. Why were you in the barracks? I suspected the executors had an inside man, she shrugged. How else could they have gotten poor Comte de Favre to open the door to his killer? Since he arranged the sword's purchase for Seamus, he'd been hiding in his own home. The only people he'd seen were Seamus and you. Another chapter in the Varric Tetris thriller of all-to-end-all thrillers. Especially if you're Cassandra, then you're really psyched to find that kind of thing out. There's more documents! I'm gonna spend like 15 years in this first room. Notes on Palace Guests. A collection of servants' notes on the guests attending the Winter Palace. Countess Davor. Davery. Yeah, probably. Wants a stateroom set aside from 3 to 5 in the afternoon for her daughter's harp practice. Must have windows on one side of a balcony. If she proposes a recital, refer her to the Seneschal. Duke Pierpont wants to entertain Ferelden relatives. A barrel of whiskey and 3 wheels of cheese to be delivered to his quarters this evening. Baden Wharton. His bed should be made up with linens, not silks. Sir Litstone complains an old wound in her left leg is making itself felt. Move her to the ground floor. Lady Galette, a duelist, has requested a sparring partner and a suitable practice ground. Lord Gilderay, to be woken at 8 by a maid on even days, a page boy on odd days, don't ask, and a fresh pitcher of water and 12 sprigs of lavender on a peach-colored towel, don't ask. Carrying these items in silently without making eye contact with his lordship, placing them on the divan, clapping twice, then leaving without a word. Do not ask. They've got specific tastes, 'cause they crazy. Oh, potions. Do I have the materials? Oh yeah, I have plenty of that. Bing. Bing. Oh yeah, I bought a ton of this stuff apparently. Should at least replenish stuff for me. Upgrades. Hard in Hightown Chapter 17. Jesus. Bavaric Tetris. Donnan left it to his captain and a dozen of Kirkwall's finest to drag Wagner and his thugs to the stocks. The heavy air gave up and turned into sheets of rain. The ancient grey stone stairs leading up to Lowtown turned into a waterfall. Donnan slogged up the narrow passage, boots squelching with every step. He almost didn't hear the ambush coming. As he reached the top of the stairs, a faint rasp of steel made him throw himself aside into a vegetable seller's table. A sword swung through the air where he'd been and chimed against the rock wall. Donnan fumbled at his scabbard and just managed to catch the second blow with his sword. He had one moment as they locked blades to recognize his attacker. The younger man had shed his guard uniform for dark leathers, and his left arm now ended in a bandaged stump, but there was no mistaking him. Javelin? Where's the blade of Asarian? Javelin recovered from the parried blow to slash at Donnan's legs. He dodged back, slipping and nearly stumbling ass first down the stairs. It was you, the inside man. You're the one who killed Favre. Donnan lunged at the recruit. Javelin quickly moved to block, but Donnan's blade sliced his arm, drawing blood. Give me the sword. I know that pirate hag gave it to you. Javelin swung a series of hard slashes, trying to break Donnan's guard or knock him down the stairs. In the darkness and the driving rain, the guardsman struggled to see his attacker. Still, Donnan grinned. You left it at the quay. I guess you ran off without it when the lady took your hand off. Not my fault you picked a fight you couldn't win. He tried to edge away from the stairs, but the rookie kept him pinned between the vegetable stall and the fall to his death. Javelin lunged, his blade punching through Donnan's armor and just below his ribs, but the recruit slipped on the wet stone during his attack and stumbled into the enemy. Donnan shoved him away and over the stairs. His fall ended with a sickening crack of broken bones. Donnan drew a ragged breath and pulled Javelin's sword from his side, trying not to slip on his own blood. The chantry was a long way off. It totally is that formula for thrillers that you'd expect from like a Dan Brown book or something like that. Barrick knows what he's doing. Hey Cole, just happened to be right here.
Inquisitor, I see you have time for afternoon refreshments.
Glimmering, glittering, perfect cut, mask a maze of gemstones. She will think it pretty.
Excuse me, I might,
Did you want the table?
He wants stones the color of his eyes. Happy, bright, beaming, being seen, not seeing. And I needed the table.
For breadcrumbs?
Birds like breadcrumbs.
Inquisitor, how good to see you here. I came to sit and pen another song.
Sweet songs, poignant pain plants joy that grows later. She can't see me. I help her help people.
I gathered.
You're smart and kind. You're worthy of true love.
Hello, Halam Sharal! The fire of Zither must be fueled by wine, ideally shared with adoring fans.
But not with him. You need somebody nice. Yes, better. He'll be gentle. So will you.
You're with the Chargers, are you not? I've seen you in the Skyhold Tavern where I sing.
Oh yes, I love your songs. Sometimes I'd sit up on the chair to take a better look at your songs. The Chargers have their own song, if you'd like to hear it.
Good.
Well, that's unexpected. Set up the lieutenant of the Chargers with our bard.
You're sure they'll both be alright when Krem tells her?
Strong arms, a sweet voice. Father wanted me to be happy.
Which one of them is that?
Both.
I was setting up the... if I remember correctly, Krem is transgender, is the setup here. Well, best of luck to those two. I guess that was more or less what I should have expected from the likes of Cole, if we're gonna talk to him.
A soldier, a savior, a hero, a leader, Inquisitor fought for our souls. A battle, a breach, the one we beseech to protect our lives and our homes. Now, how do we follow? The battle is all but won. Peace can't last forever. Guard us from what's to come. Inquisitor, take your breath. A soldier, a savior, a hero, a leader. Inquisitor fought for our souls. A battle, a breach, the one we beseech to protect our lives and our homes. Now you shall follow. The breach is all but closed. Light can't last forever. Guard us from darkness to come. A soldier, a savior, a hero, a leader. Inquisitor fought for our souls.